try. I'm trying. Okay, I see hands. How about right here? So the question there was, what is the one thing that each of them would like the audience to take away with you tonight?
Take away what?
Take away with.
A piece of advice. Yep, take away. Go ahead, James. Maybe he's not prepared. Go ahead, Frank.
I think.
Are you ready? Okay.
Okay. Probably that your body can heal itself and that you have the power to make changes that really impact your health. Sometimes we feel victim to everything, and you could turn this around. You don't have to be a victim. You can be empowered in this way. We need maybe more education to do this, and how to take care of our body. Getting a better diet, better sleep, various types of activities that make us happy. It's important to have better relationships, less toxic relationships. All of this can empower you and to help your body self-heal. So I think that's probably the most important thing, is that bioregulatory medicine is about self-healing, and we have to trust that the body can do that. If we cut ourselves and we look down, the blood is already stopped, there's a scab forming, and this is what the body does. It's always attempting to heal itself, and we need to trust this process.
I say the thing to take away is don't believe anything your doctor tells you. Because the reality is it may not be true. You spend, the statistic that I showed Frank today, if you see your physician once a year for an annual, you spend 0.0005% of the year in front of the doctor and 99.9995% in front of your own mirror. So the person who looks in the mirror is really the person who's the most responsible for your health. And as James just said, the things that you do for yourself, in fact, I gave Liz today a book that I'm writing called Basic Treatment Guidelines, the things that you need to do for yourself every single day. It's really how you prevent Lyme disease and everything else that we've been talking about. So don't take for granted that what you're being told is the truth. Question it. Dr. Google knows everything, so I don't know why we even need to be sitting up here now. So Dr. Google will answer your questions, although they won't know anything about biological medicine, unfortunately. Self-care.
Again, maybe a contribution from someone outside of this cultural perspective you're having. Maybe you find the time to reflect on your situation you find yourself in, because we have these tendencies as well that the young children get their cell phones because the parents sign up for this very early, so a 5-year-old has to have all this exposure, but still our culture implements that we are more aware of maybe the side effects it might have or the impact that might be given to the child because of being exposed to it, and try to educate your children about the necessity being part of nature, being part of what the surrounding is, and look inward if there is psycho-emotional aspects to be considered or happiness to be spread, meanwhile being around your child instead of just putting it in front of a TV. And find yourself in a culture more embracing, less aggressive, time spending in love with each other, and try to commit also to the nature that nurtures us and that gives us the life sense and the essence in life we might experience in no other way than just through nature. And maybe I'm speaking from the perspective because I'm so close to nature, and Switzerland is very nature-minded, but try to implement this also into your lives and reflect on your cultural heritage and situation you find yourself in, because it can be different over the ocean, and we could learn from each other that our future needs to be compensated altogether and not just by one nation.
Jennifer, Hennie, do you want to add to that? Something.
So, I think the most important thing is that you have this exquisite body that is absolutely remarkable. All of and that what we want you to do is to take a new, fresh look at how many deep-going physical processes there are that are in this exquisite balance, and that you need to develop, that we want to help you develop a toolkit so that we feel empowered every day, and that you hop up out of bed and can hardly wait to see what the day brings.
Yeah, I would kind of second that with what I get to see, on a day-to-day basis is spend your money on your health. Don't spend your money on the disease after you get it. It's a very retro, it's a terrible idea. And I'll tell you my day, and this sounds terrible, but it isn't. The most interesting conversations and real conversations I have are with people that have like a month left to live. That's a real conversation. And when we can get to that position where it's not scary anymore, and we actually what matters, there's not one of them that, when we kind of get to that reflection point, they always, which is a nice thing for me to hear all the time, is they say, I wish I would have, and not a wish as in, I missed on something. But it's like, if I could say one thing, or when I'm telling my family something, it's spend money on your health. Be reflective. Use the opportunities to get an assessment done so that you can figure out what you're going to do to not get into disease. And the other thing is, this has been, I'd say the world of health has become so complicated. That somebody has 50 million things for me to do to become healthy, that just sucks. I don't want to do that. It's supposed to, like I said, be a very passive process. Nobody smiles and nobody laughs anymore. Nobody has fun. We just stick our faces in our phones or our iPads, and then we just worry. Worry about something that isn't even coming. If I go for a walk to this Plymouth Rock, which I thought was fascinating, and I don't know why everybody... I'm Canadian, I really took that in. I don't know why everybody said it was going to be such a letdown. I did. That was the first thing I did when I got here. I went and looked at that rock. And nobody looks around anymore. We're so worried about the boogeyman coming, whether it's, 5 people I know have cancer. It's 15 people you know don't. Why is the glass always so half full anymore? So that's, the one thing would be smile. It's really hard to get sick when you're laughing. I promise you. It's an important piece of it.
That's great.